Welcome back, family. We're here again, back with another episode of the Listen Man Show. You know, the show that's for fans by a fan. We're still plugging along. This is episode 14. Man, what an episode this one is going to be. This one is going to be near and dear to my heart, and hopefully it'll be something that you'll appreciate as well. So as always, man, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you follow. Make sure you hit the bell on YouTube. That bell will let you know every time an episode drops, and that way you get notified and you can tune in whenever you can. So make sure you check out previous episodes as well on YouTube and get caught up on all the great topics that we've already talked about. So, like I always say, share, 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 and let's go. Welcome back, fam. Listen, we're back at it. Another episode. Now, this one, I gotta be honest, this one is near and dear to me, right? This one kind of goes back to the grassroots of who I am and what this show is all about. If you saw the intro of this show before one episode ever dropped, I talked about how this show was really created to show how sports and life were intertwined, right? How they come together and how sports actually can affect our day to day, the way that we do things, and especially how we react and do things when it comes to our favorite sports, our favorite team, our favorite player, our favorite league. And on those days, there's an effect that life has on us and an effect that sports has on our lives. So this one I thought would be interesting. We're going to start doing a little countdown, and this will be the first episode of many. We're going to call this the Fan Must Have episodes. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 things that every fan must have in order to be considered a fan. Now, here's the caveat to that. When I say a fan and what a fan must have, I'm talking about a fan, right? So there's 3 different types of fan. So when we say must have, it's going to be different for each type of fan. So the first fan we have is called the hardcore fan, right? That's the one he or she has all the jerseys. They have all the memorabilia in the room. They could tell you all of the stat lines. They could tell you everything about their team, about the player. They're just hardcore about everything sports. We all know that person. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's me. Then you have the second person, which I call the middle of the pack fan. Now, this fan, they have, a team. They may even have a favorite player. They do watch. They keep in touch. They check it out. They make sure that things are good. They have fun watching the games. They'll do the cookout. They'll do, the jersey here and there. They might even occasionally go to a game. So a little bit of a tier less than that hardcore fan that's going to be at the games, that's going to just live and breathe everything for their team or for that player. And then the third person that we have is the fair weather fan. Now, we call them fair weather just simply because it could be one or two reasons, right? One, they could be just getting into sports. So they're just learning. They got their training wheels on. They're learning aspects of the game that they like. They're learning little aspects about a player that they like. And maybe they, tend to ask a lot of questions, right? So that fan is a little bit different. And then the second aspect of a fair weather fan could just be somebody that has just an interest in one particular sport, or maybe they're that fan that just likes one player, and no matter where that player goes, they just tend to follow that player. So they don't really have a loyalty to a team or anything like that. They just kind of follow one player or maybe one team, and that's really it. But if they watch a game, they're good. They don't watch a game, they're good as well. And that's okay. There's all types of fans out there, but we just kind of put it in those 3 categories. So when I say the top 5 things a fan must have, we have to remember that there's different types of fans. So Each one is going to have a little bit of an asterisk next to it because based on the type of fan that you are and based on the type of fan that others are, it's going to determine exactly what level the must-haves will be at. All right? Are you guys ready? You ready to discuss it? Let's talk about it. Number one. So the number one must-have for a sports fan is either a TV/streaming service. Now, the reason why I say this is because I've seen other lists where they do like a top 10 or a top 50, and they always had TVs up there. But now, it's 2024, right? So you don't necessarily have to have a TV in order to watch sports. You can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on your tablet, your laptop, whatever you have, pretty much every device, as long as you have the correct streaming service, you can watch a game. So we just linked the two together, right? We're going to merge having a TV/streaming service. Now, this is vital for any fan because you can't watch sports without either one, a TV or a streaming service. So now when it comes to the TV, this is again where the asterisk comes into play because depending on the fan is going to determine the type of TV. Some people are good with just a little 42-inch television. If that's all you got, that's all you got. I grew up on a black and white TV that had pliers to turn the knob, and I had the coat hanger antenna to where you would have to just twist it just right, and you better hope and pray nobody came in and bumped the TV stand that it was on, or else you had to go another 5 minutes trying to get the station back. So nowadays, the way TVs are and how cheap they are, everybody should have a TV and some type of streaming service as well. Here's the caveat about the TV. TV says a lot about the type of fan that you are. Some people have to have the setup so incredible. Like they have to have a setup that's so magnificent. While others, they're good. Me, myself, I feel like I have a decent setup, right? I'm not going to give the size of the TV. I would just simply say I have a decent sized TV. You're not going to miss much no matter where you sit in my man cave. I also have a little surround sound, just to kind of give you that nice little feel. Now that's me. Now I would think that mine is good, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm not gonna call myself a hardcore. I'm not a middle of a pack. I'm probably in between those two, right? But I love watching games with a nice sound and a clear picture. That's my biggest thing. But I thought I was doing really, really well until I went into my boy K's house. Now my boy K, his TV and surround sound system and lighting is incredible. It's literally something that you would see almost out of MTV Cribs or something like that. For real. Like I remember when he first showed it to me not too long ago. Like I'm sitting there watching and I literally could see the black dots on the Spalding basketball. Like I'm looking at the players, but then I also could see the guy like in the fourth row eating popcorn and drinking beer. Like that's how vivid and clear it was. And then the surround sound was crazy. Like you literally could hear the music that the stadium was playing. On top of, I could actually hear what one of the fans' earbuds was playing as well. Playing about that last part. But that's just how clear his is. Then he has a lighting for the mood to where when exciting things happen, it changes a different color. It's just incredible. So TV streaming service is going to dictate what type of fan you are. The hardcore fans are going to have it on their devices. No matter where they are, they're not going to miss a game. They're probably going to have the elaborate setup like my boy K. The middle of the pack fan, they're still going to have a nice setup. They're still going to have a good little sound system with it. They're going to make sure that they can watch the game. And of course, they'll still have some of the streaming services as well, even though they may not watch it all, right? And then the fair weather fan, well, that fan may not have it on all of their devices. They may watch everything on their devices and not necessarily worry about surround sound or a TV. They might be good with just wireless headphones and watching the game on their phone. So that's the number one thing that you have to have in order to be a fan, right? You got to be able to see the game. Now let's move on to number two. Number two, now this kind of coincides with that TV. You got to have a safe space to watch the sports. Now this is key. You got to have somewhere, you just got to have that space to where you can watch in peace. Like that space that when you go there, your family, your friends know that you're going to be there for the long haul. You might be there for a back-to-back game. So it might be 2.5 to 4.5 hours, right? So you gotta have that space to where not only can you watch the sports, but you gotta have it to where you're not interrupted by anybody. You don't want people coming in telling you that the neighbor's outside saying hello. You don't want nobody saying, "Oh, Kev, the dogs ran away. Let them run away. They'll come back." That's what they always told me. Leave a dog alone, he'll find his way home, right? Because when we're watching the game, we just don't want to be interrupted at all. So, a safe space. Do you have a man cave? Do you have a room that you could shut the door? And if you don't, and you just have a room that's maybe in the middle of the house or somewhere where people can walk by, I'm going to give you Kevin's fan tip as to how to create a safe space. So, here's what you have to do. As fans, we're creatures of habit, aren't we? So, we have to create a habit that lets our family and our friends know when certain things take place, it means it's our safe space. For example, if you have an open space to where people can just walk by and see you watch the game, or they can just walk in and see you watch the game, here's what you need to do. When you're ready to watch the game, you make sure that you not only get all of your snacks, make sure that you get some food for later, carry you a 2-liter pop or something in there. Carry enough stuff to where when people see you with those things, they realize you're there for the long haul, aka leave me alone. So when people see you coming in grabbing a few bags of chips, when they see you grabbing a 2-liter pop, when they see you grabbing a hamburger and some fries, as well as some other type of snack, that means you're going to be in there for a little while. Let me leave that fan alone. Let me leave that person alone, right? And that's what we want. So create a safe space for yourself no matter where that is. And if you have to come up with something like that to let people know, worst case scenario, yell it out. Say, I'm going to my safe space, and let everybody know. That way they know, leave that person alone while they're watching their game. It's a real fan who's going to make sure they have a safe space to watch sports. Now, number three kind of goes along with that safe space, right? You got to have something comfortable to sit in. When we talk about watching games, especially NFL season, you start the games at 1 o'clock. You got one game and another one at 4, then another one, then you got the Sunday night game. Listen, you might veg out all Sunday. So you got to have somewhere extremely comfortable to sit, right? Now, here's what's cool about this. The chair and or the couch or the love seat or the beanbag, whatever it is that you're going to sit on, it's got to be sturdy enough to withstand the fist pounding, to be able to withstand the jumping up and down and then sitting back down, plopping when something good is happening or even when something bad is happening. So you want something sturdy to be able to handle all of our weight